Good evening, everybody. My name is Scott Silverstein. My friend and colleague Joe Sweeney was not able to get on tonight. Oh, wait a minute. He just got on. So, Joe, welcome to the live stream.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. I had to get my camera and microphone working. It's working now.
uh, so, we're live, and let me ask you a question. Can you see up in the upper left hand corner a little eyeball?
No,
Um, okay.
you're in the
That
show. Everyone can hear and see you. Okay.
Yeah, that eyeball basically tells us or tells me, since I'm producing the show, the number of people that are looking at this show. Now, just for FYI, we're broadcasting live on YouTube under a channel called Viral Promos, and we're broadcasting live in Multi-Level Marketing Genius.
Okay.
Um,
Fantastic.
So this is the first of many, hopefully many of these broadcasts. I think we have potential in using this technology to garner strong relationships with people that we don't usually see in public, or we don't see in public. And in any kind of sales game, what is the most important uh, factor in one's success is interpersonal relationships.
Yeah. Relationships is number one. I agree.
Yeah, trust. We want to build trust with the group here in Multi-Level Marketing Genius,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to by doing that, the more of these broadcasts we can produce, it
Mm-hmm.
will produce more trust.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Speaking about trust, uh, many of us trusted the multi-level marketing, um, the multi-level marketing concept to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that, or?
No, I would agree 100%. I mean, I was involved in that industry for many, many years, and I wouldn't have been involved with it if I didn't trust that industry. But I soon came to realize that it's an industry of smoke and mirrors, hype and BS, and everybody knows what BS stands for. So I would agree with that.
Yeah. So what I dug out of the archives is a short video by an associate of mine as well as yours. Um, his name is Jason Fisher, and he, unlike anyone else, was able to express why multi-level marketing scams fail. So, without any further ado, we're going to play that. Is that okay with you, Joe?
Yeah, yeah, that's an excellent short film that really explains the state of the industry very, very well, and he does an excellent job. I agree.
Yeah. So let me get that on right now.
Hi, this is Jason Fisher. I'm excited to be here with you today. This will probably be one of the most profound videos in regards to multi-level marketing that you've ever heard, and why so many people struggle in this industry and find it hard to earn long-term residual income. And I feel that I have the right to speak about this because I started my journey in this industry at 17 years old. By the age of 19, I was making $10,000 a month. Bought my first $1.5 million home by age 21, had over 5,000 distributors within my business. And over the next few short years after that success, that organization dwindled down to 56 people that were active out of 5,000 people. I went on a mission to find out why that happened and why that is so common in the industry as a whole. Why so many people jump from company to company trying to figure out the secret of earning long-term residual income. Well, we figured it out. I finally found out why that happens consistently in the industry, the problems that create that situation, and more importantly, the solution if we're going to earn long-term residual income. So after everything fell apart and I went from 5,000 to 56 people, I sat there and all of a sudden an important universal principle came to my mind. And the unbelievable thing is most industry leaders don't understand this principle and how important it is when it's applied to this industry. But I will tell you this, if the principle is applied correctly, there's massive success with lots of residual income. And if it's applied incorrectly, there's massive failure with no residual income in the end. And the universal principle that we're talking about today is the 80-20 rule, meaning that the world is made up of the 80-20. 80% of people don't do much while 20% do something, or 80% of the money is earned by 20% of the people. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Take 10 doctors, 10 lawyers, 10 chiropractors, 10 cab drivers. 2 are going to shine and 8 aren't going to do too much. And it's a universal principle that you can't break. And when we apply it to the network marketing industry, the numbers are the same. 80% of people don't do much while 20% of people do something. Well, then I started thinking, well, what makes this industry work, or what makes the type of businesses work? Numbers. Numbers equal orders. Orders equal residual income. Whoever has the most numbers ordering at the end is going to have the most residual income. The question is there a difference between business model to business model with the outcome at the end? And I'm here to tell you that there is. There's a major difference. Well, I started thinking about, if this business is about numbers, then I need to have the most numbers on the board. So I need to go find something that the 80%ers can do, because what I was in was a 20%er deal. The only people ordering at the end were the 20%ers that were trying to stay qualified for their bonuses, their overrides, and their residual income. I didn't have something for the 80s. Who are the 80s? The 80s is the average Joe or Mary, my mother, my sister, my brother, the person that doesn't have any sales experience, doesn't have a lot of drive or tenacity. They're not good at handling rejection, and they're not good at justifying expensive products or services that are new buying habits in people's lifestyle. They're not good at justifying expensive things out in the marketplace that people wouldn't buy long term. Well, when we looked at the industry, it became very clear that the industry didn't have a business for the 80%ers, because when we looked at the landscape of the MLM industry, they were all 20%er deals. From the price point of the product, the only people that could justify it were the 20%ers. The compensation plans were written for the 20%ers. The only people that could do the sales quotas monthly were the 20%ers. Then all of a sudden, the clouds parted, the problems and the solutions became very clear. And that is that all these companies have great products. They all have great services, but they all do something very, very wrong. And that is that when someone gets involved with these type of businesses, their buying habits starts changing and their budget starts changing to the tune of $120 to $200 to $250 to $300 a month in products that they never bought before and that they will never buy long term. And when they show their faces the 80%er and they find it hard to do that type of business because they can't justify those type of products in the marketplace, 90 to 120 days after joining, what's the first thing that they cancel? They cancel their auto ship, their monthly consumption of whatever they started buying that they weren't buying 90 to 120 days ago. And not only do they quit the business, but here's the most important piece. They also quit being a number on the board, and they quit being a customer because it didn't make financial sense to stay as a customer. I said to myself, if I could find a business on 2 levels, I was going to have a huge home run. The first was find a business that the average Joe, the average Mary, the average 80%er could do, they could win at, and they can make money at, and where they didn't have to justify new buying habits. And here was number 2. Find a business that whether the 80%er took action or not, whether they made it happen or not in the business, they still stayed as a customer, and they had overwhelming value to at least stay as a consumer because it made sense to put their money in this store every single month, whether there was a financial gain or not. And once I understood this principle and this concept of the 80-20 and how important it is when it's applied to this industry, my life changed. This little information that we just went over, if you get it, it will change your life forever, because it is absolutely the reason why people either have success or not in this industry. So let's just be clear why multi-level marketing loses the 80%ers and why they come off the board and why the industry always has the problem with keeping people active. It comes down to three things. The products in the MLM industry do not compete in the real marketplace against other leading products within their category. They're 2 to 3 times the actual cost. And that is why people do not stay long-term as a long-term customer of an MLM company's products, is because the products are overpriced. Understand this, that if the products are overpriced, we're not going to keep customers. And if the products are overpriced and we're asking people to justify luxury items on top of it, the 80%ers are going to find it difficult to build the business, and they're eventually going to quit as a customer themselves. Number 2 is the sales quotas. What the MLM company is asking people to consume every single month to stay actively qualified in their business. $120 a month in coffee, or $150 or $200 a month in juice. That's not only products that people never bought before at prices that they would never buy long term, but you're asking people to consume more than what they would normally consume just to stay actively qualified. That is the number 2 reason of why we lose the 80%ers. And here's the third reason, is the majority of people in any MLM organization, they never get a check. They never get a commissionable check. Pay the least amount of people within an organization a paycheck, and that's how you will rot away the 80%ers and lead you down to nothing when it comes to long-term residual income. Understand, products not competing in the multi-level marketing industry is the biggest problem. And then asking people to buy more than what they normally would buy is the biggest problem. Multi-level marketing stands for multi-levels of distribution. In most cases, outside manufacturer makes the products, they mark it up and sell it to the MLM. The MLM marks it up and sells it to the distributors or the reps, and then the distributor and the reps double the cost and sell it to the end-line consumer. And by the time the product gets down to the end-line consumer, an MLM, it does not compete in the real marketplace against other leading products. That is the problem of why we lose the 80%ers. So to prove and substantiate what I was just talking about with losing the 80%ers, let's look at the industry stats. Here's what might shock all of you. There's $8 or $9 billion MLM companies in the United States. Now understand this. This is where it gets scary. Only 5 to 11% of their sales is domestic, is in the United States. Meaning that these companies, the majority of their business is overseas. They've scorched enough territories outside of the United States to successfully come up with $1 billion plus corporation. But what it shows is that there's no long-term consumption in any one marketplace because they don't have real customers buying real products long-term. The only people that are active or staying active in an MLM company in any one marketplace are the 5%ers and the 20%ers that are trying to stay active for their bonuses, their overrides, and their residuals. There's no real customers buying real products. And when you look at these billion-dollar MLM companies, they're all in 40 to 50 to 60 to 130 countries, having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% in every single country and coming up with a successful story in the sense of sales. But where is the success of the long-term residual income if there's no long-term consumption in any one marketplace in the history of the MLM industry? That's scary. The story sounds great as a whole, but in reality, when you only have 5 to 11% in the United States, Amway only has 5% of its $12 billion in the United States. They've scorched enough territories where they came up with 12 billion. But where is the long-term residual income if there's no consumption? It became very clear to me. So let's talk about the solution. This is the most exciting part. It's real simple, the solution. All we have to do is 3 things. Number 1 is have consumables that people have to buy and have them for all. Have necessity products, have to buy products. Don't create a new buying need or a new budget in someone's life. Create products that people have been buying their whole life, but make them more natural, more green, which is a big thing in today's society, but have necessities that people have to buy, have to use, and have to reorder. It's not a choice or a choice of buying. Here's number 2, price them 30 to 50% less grocery store pricing, less Walmart pricing, less Costco's or BJ's. If you've got necessities that you've got to buy and you've got the products 30 to 50% less than where you've been buying, you're going to stay as a customer. And here's number 3, make the partnership between the consumer and the manufacturer. Instead of having multi-levels of distribution, have it just from the consumer with the manufacturer, where the manufacturer is only asking someone to buy a few products a month, a very low monthly qualification, instead of the average of $150 to $200 to $300 a month and things that people never bought before. Drop that 2 to 3 times lower. Have it be $50 to $60 instead of the hundreds of dollars in products you never bought before. If you've got that, then you've got a solution that will provide long-term residual income and long-term customers buying for a lifetime. So we found an established company that has over 60% of its business in the United States. Unlike the typical MLM industry average of the billion-dollar companies that have 5 to 11% of its sales in the United States, we have 60%, which proves if we have 60% that we're keeping the 80s on the board and we have real products that compete in the real marketplace, which is huge, creating lifelong residual income. We're growing like a startup company, but we're not a startup company. We grew by over $160 million in the last 24 months, which is just absolutely incredible. Having consumables for all is the key, as we just mentioned, but we have 400 plus consumables, things that people have to buy, have to reorder, and have to purchase every single month, not spending any new money whatsoever. So we have pricing 30 to 50% less grocery store pricing, which is huge, less Walmart and Costco's and BJ's, as well as the partnership with the manufacturer to buy at wholesale every month and to stay qualified to earn commissions. It's $50 to $60 a month. Out of 400 necessities that are priced below grocery store pricing, it's absolutely brilliant and it works. There's no new money and there's no new buying habits. This information has literally not only changed my life, but has changed the lives of thousands of other people. I am so happy that I've learned this information and that it finally became very clear on what the industry problems are and, more importantly, what the solution is. If we're going to throw our time and our energy and our reputation into something to produce massive success when it comes to this industry of earning lifelong residual income. I'm excited to share this journey with you, and I appreciate you listening to this information today.
Let me Joe.
Yeah, that's a great video. I tell you, it really tells the story succinctly. It really does.
Yeah. So what I want to know, and in the multi-level marketing genius group, there's close to 4,000 members.
Wow.
Does anybody here have that formula? They're working in a program where they're offering products that are competitively priced? Or is most of these
based on that video? If people are working in a multi-level marketing business, they are probably selling products that can be purchased elsewhere in the marketplace for about 1.5 to 2 to maybe 3, sometimes 4 times more than what people can get it somewhere else. So, as Jason explained, with the 80%ers, 80% of the people that get into any type of multi-level marketing business are not going to make any money. And if they're not making any money, they're not going to stay on the company's products. They're not going to stay in the deal. And so that's why most people have around a 15%, if they're lucky, retention rate.
Yeah, now a lot of people today are trying to sell these cryptocurrency deals.
Yeah, I see those. I see those all the time.
Which I don't even understand why anyone would pay to buy and sell crypto when you can buy and sell crypto without a middleman. You can just go to an
You can-
exchange and buy crypto.
You can, but the dream is to, is to not only make money off of your efforts, but make money off of other people's efforts. And so what they do is they're recruiting other people into the crypto deals in order to try to make money off of not only what they do, but then also what that person does, and that person does. So that's part of it. And the other part of it is that they're selling the dream that, the crypto is someday going to be worth, $500,000 to $1 million a coin. And so get in now at I don't know what it was today, but it was, I think it was down a little bit today, but
it was down last week. Bitcoin was
and it
down
fell
big.
23%, a few months ago. So
Yeah.
it's a very volatile market, and if you like, gambling, if you like being in a crapshoot, then, by all means get involved in it. And I'll be the first to say that I really don't understand that market, and the things that I don't understand, I stay away from. But I understand the buying products that I'm going to purchase every single day anyway, or not every single day, but I'm going to purchase anyway, or every month anyway, and I'm going to use them up, and I'm going to purchase them again and again and again. And it doesn't have the romance associated with crypto or some of these other products, but it creates true residual income. And I got in this industry for the promise of true residual income. And that does not exist for 80% to 90% of the people. And I would contend even those that are in those other companies, or that are at the top of those other companies, that exist for them long term.
Yeah, they're not addressing the 80%ers. And then they keep losing it. It's like a treadmill. They keep losing enrollments.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about enrollments rather than
it's a
spreading the money to everybody.
They sell the dream and the promise that, do the work once and then just go sit on a beach and sip pina coladas and watch the ocean roll in and have yourself, one of those moments for the rest of your life. And it doesn't work that way. And it doesn't work that way for very few people in the industry.
But in your case, rather than those pina coladas, you're heading out in the mountains on that mountain bike.
Yeah, right. Riding the mountain bike, or or doing a triathlon or something like that. That's more my speed. But so, I'm not going to be able to travel the world doing triathlons and then have residual income come in the rest of my life, because those people that are making the $50 to $100 to $200 to $300,000 a month, number one, represent a very tiny, small percentage of the whole freaking multi-level marketing industry. And those people, they aren't laying on the beach somewhere. They're working 70, 80 hours a week, prospecting like crazy, trying to replace or keep that income up there. So if the truth will be known in this industry, the way to create true residual income is to have products that people need and use every day. They can buy them competitively, buy only what they need, and then buy them again month after month after month.
Yes, it's called capitalizing on the necessities of life.
That's why in my company, I put 12 people in my very first month 10 years ago, and 10 years later, I still have 10 out of those 12 that are still ordering products today.
Yeah. So we've been chatting here, and we allowed Jason to come in to do that little video for almost 24 minutes. And hopefully we can encourage someone who would like to get on one of these broadcasts and explain why their deal appeals to the masses. We'd love to hear that. We're looking for that opportunity. We're looking for the business model that's going to appeal to the masses and create true long-term passive income. Joe, do you want to say anything to conclude the show?
No, I just thought that video is probably one of the best that I've ever listened to, because it really truly explains the difference between multi-level marketing and true residual income. And I think it tells the truth. Like it says, MLM, real truth. It tells the truth about this industry, because this has been an industry. Multi-level marketing has been an industry of smoke and mirrors for so many years, and the only people that have really gotten rich in that industry are the people that own companies, and they make a business out of starting those companies up, shutting them down. They walk away with millions. The distributors left with everything, holding the bag. So before you jump and before you invest your time, effort, energy, and money into something, look at it from the standpoint of, what's the retention rate? Are the products affordable? What's the monthly requirement? Are all those things reasonable? And how long has the company been in business? There are a lot of things to look at before you jump into one of those deals thinking that you're going to do the work and then have it last for the rest of your life, because that does not exist in the multi-level marketing industry. That's my last word.
It's always the best word. Okay. Hey, don't leave the studio. I'm going to end the broadcast.
Okay.
And for all of you folks that did jump in for even the short period of time you were here, feel free to contact me in Multi-Level Marketing Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Or make a comment in YouTube, and we will be more than eager to bring you into this show, and let's talk. Let's talk about passive income.
Exactly.
And on that, see you later to the next time.